everybody, it's Mike Payne here at 401 Games, provincial champion here in Toronto for the ROC. I'm joined by my guest. Introduce yourself.
I'm Tom Kerr, longtime Heroclix player, Heroclix aficionado, and 5th place in the province.
In the province?
Oh,
in the nation.
I'm 5th place in the nation.
In the nation.
And you're 1st place in the province.
1st place province, 8th place world.
Yeah,
there we go. Okay, so anyway, we're here today to talk less about our accolades and more about the new set that's just coming out tomorrow, depending on when you're actually watching this. So it'll come out on the 10th. This is the set World's Finest, showcasing Batman and Superman, the Metal Men, mystical sub-theme as well. What else do we have on the box here? We also have
the Kingdom Come chases are in there.
Kingdom Come chases and the Doom Patrol, of course.
Lots of those.
So our format for today is going to be a Slobberknocker battle, wherein we open a booster each. We're going to do that at the same time, pull them out, show you what we got. We're each going to pick one figure from our boosters, and we're going to decide who wins that round based on the quality and the cool factor of that figure.
Yes.
You ready to get started?
I am ready to get started. Let's get going.
All right, let's
ready?
Take out
the first booster. Now you're going to count us down, right? Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, ready.
The fingers right in there.
Yeah. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go!
That's some good filling right there. Alrighty.
Oh, what's this?
Oh my.
So, we got a guy in a package. That's usually a good thing.
Yep.
This just happens to be, I'm going to pull him out of the package here. This isn't necessarily my pick, just so you can see. That's Ragman. He was previewed by WizKids previous to now, so that is a pretty good pick. However, I really like a couple of the other figures that I got in this pack too. And I got an ID card. I got the Black Canary ID card here.
That's wonderful. Also
being introduced here is the ID cards in this set for DC. Identical to the Nick Fury and Avengers Assemble set ID cards from last year, as well as Age of Ultron, of course. These ID cards will be going on to, what's it called again? It's the holographic...
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but it's essentially the DC Roundtable by
It is an identical resource to the Roundtable. The wording on it is identical, it's just a different color. But still very, very cool. I'm glad that I'm going to be able to call in varying superheroes to help me in my journey towards Heroclix victory.
It'll be a very exciting
Black
time.
Canary there.
Putting the Avengers up against the Justice League with all their resources and call-ins and stuff, that's going to be a pretty exciting time.
Alright, I know my pick. What did you get in there?
Alright, so what I've got here is, I'm going to point myself towards Mary Marvel.
Oh my god.
There's a bunch of good pieces in here, but Mary Marvel, this is a great pull if you're in sealed because there aren't that many higher point figures, and at 150 points she makes a good 10 pull while still leaving you lots of points to fill out the rest of your team. And speaking of that, this would be a great pull, set of pulls in general. There's a bunch of mystical here with Jason Blood and Desaad. Desaad, a fantastic support piece. Let's not overlook Booster Gold, who is also really, really good.
We have kind of almost identical...
And Mr. Nobody as well. So far, we do have a lot of overlap here.
Very similar. My pick in this case will be Booster Gold. Double prob. That's just insane. One of the probs does have to be on himself in order to do that, or on Blue Beetle, a character called Blue Beetle, which is also in this set, to be able to use it twice. But double prob, come on, for 75 points, that's just nuts.
I'm going to go with Mary Marvel because I did highlight her already. She is, as they say, a great tentpole style figure, lots of power, and she also has a fantastic trait which reads, opposing characters of an equal or lower point value can't target Mary Marvel without wit, perplex, or probability control. Now, remind me of how many points Booster Gold is?
75.
So at that double prob that you mentioned, how effective is that going to be when Mary Marvel comes in with hypersonic speed and puts a hole in Booster Gold's head?
Well, I've already experienced the wrath of Mary Marvel. Jason Collins, one of the people we do our Metal Lab podcast with, he fought against me in the first round of our pre-release, and he won with Mary Marvel. It was close, but she's really, really, really hard to take down.
She is.
So even though he has double prob, I would say this round is yours.
Yeah, I would say so too. A nice stock click is the other piece of that. But Mary Marvel skirts it a little bit ahead. But
all right, so here we go. So I'm gonna go like this, and he's dead. Oh no!
And round one goes to me.
And I'll just leave that out there just because it's cool. All right, so round one, Tom.
All right, round two. You ready?
3, 2, 1,
go! Oh yeah, the red and blue is already appearing.
I think I might have won this one.
Oh, you think so, do you?
I think I might have.
Oh my.
Yeah. This is the figure that the set is named after. World's Finest. Pretty incredible. It's a duo figure right there. Anyway, the rest of my pack here has some good mix in it. We've got Negative Man, Black Cat, Iron from the Metal Men, and Poison Ivy. There is a Prime Poison Ivy in this set as well, but this is not that Prime. No more ID cards, but what did you get?
I got a bunch of cool stuff. Firstly, I've got Superman. Now, that's not really narrowing it down. In this set, about 20% of the set is either named Batman, Superman, or is a dial that consists of both. So in this case, I've got a hypersonically fast Superman. And what was great was that with all the different Supermen we got, they're not repeating sculpts for this one. Each sculpt represents that particular version of that character doing what that character does for the purposes of that dial. So this is a Superman, it's a common, and he is the super fast one, so you can see a little bit of the clear plastic coloration on the side, so that much like the Flash, he's moving super fast. He seems to be kind of swinging in next to somebody super fast, like he's skidding in sideways in hockey or some such. Also got Tin, Negative Man, a demon, a nice, that
generic demon.
A generic demon,
yeah.
Looking like Etrigan, but being even cooler.
But still cool.
But I think that my pick for this one is going to be Clarion, the Witch Boy. Now there's a number of different reasons why you might want Clarion, the Witch Boy on your team. Psychic Blast is 1, Probability Control is 2, 70 points for those 2 is 3, the Mystic's team ability is 4, but let's be honest guys, if you want to put Clarion the Witch Boy on your team, it's because he gets to bring this tiny little kitty.
I like kitties. Kitty.
Any opportunity, like this set brings 2 cats and a tiger into the greater Heroclix game. And I don't think there's ever been, there you go, Black Cat hanging out with Teakle. Guys, this is the Heroclix that you've always wanted, whether you knew it or not.
Also, the release day OP kit has a figure in it. What's her name? Streaky?
It's
Streaky. Yeah. Supergirl's cat is going to be available for you to win. Totally absurd, but amazing.
So amazing.
It's all about the kitties.
With all these cats, then this is truly the set for you.
Yeah.
But I think that it's fair to say that in this battle, the World's Finest is the name of the set. I think I'm going to have to give... Well, there may be a cat, but...
One-on-one, there's no competition.
Cat versus bat. I'm going to take the bat, and Superman versus Clarion.
Absolutely. This is an amazing piece. Just a reminder to everybody, these pieces will all be available at 401 Games here on Yonge Street in Toronto later today or tomorrow. All right, so we're 1-1. Let's go.
All right, next up.
All right.
Ready for it?
3, 2, 1.
Go. Oh, yeah, Superman comes through again.
Oh my. Got another super rare.
Woo!
What'd you get?
You are pulling hard.
I got Elastigirl.
Yeah, I got Elastigirl.
And
a Green Arrow ID card.
Very cool. But I got Alloy.
You did get Alloy.
I did get Alloy.
All right, tell us a little bit about Alloy.
So Alloy is actually a combination of the Metal Men. They form up and become a Voltron of sorts to fight against evil. Let me see here. I'm going to pull him out here. You can actually see like this portion of him is made by Mercury. Then we have tin over here, gold. I think that's lead at the bottom. I'm not sure. Anyway, and platinum's got to be in there somewhere. But anyway, very cool. Big bad piece. Comes in at 275, 200, or 150 points. Pretty good in sealed. However, in this set, it's really well balanced. So in a sealed environment, you can get away with a whole bunch of like lower cost characters, because there are a lot of them. There's 13 point and 18 point characters in 300 point sealed that have outwit and have stealth as well. So this guy can be outwitted, and you can get around that fairly easily. However, still a really cool pull.
Absolutely a good pull. Is that going to be your choice?
That will definitely be my choice.
I see you've also got a fast Superman in there.
I got a fast Superman. I also got the generic Desaad, which is the occultist. I got a generic Jason Blood, which is the Warlock, and I also got Major Force from the Doom Patrol. You can actually see him there. He's interesting because he has a poison power that affects every other character, and the range on his poison is based on his actual click number, and once it's past click 4, it's penetrating. So you don't want to be anywhere near your own guy. He's 150 points. He's actually pretty good in sealed.
He's got a pretty deep dial too. For that kind of power, for something that's that good, you would expect him to be short dial, but that's not the case. And when he gets deep in that dial, that poison is taking up an awful lot of real estate.
Absolutely.
I also got a Superman. In this case, it's the sticking his chest out proudly and protecting the innocent Superman, much like Mike Payne, only
less ginger.
Less ginger and considerably more powerful. More respectable. More renowned.
More renowned, yeah.
We've also got 2 metal men in here, so this is a nice little sealed pull with iron and lead. But we've also got Mento.
Mento's cool.
Mento is cool.
Look at that.
He just looks ridiculous.
Has he ever been to Click before? I'm not sure.
If he has, it's been a very long time.
Very
before my time, and it would have been before the Carded era as well, so it's a nice thing. But let's face it, Elastigirl is going to be my pick for this one, and here's the reason why. Let me read this to you because this is bananas. At the beginning of your turn, you may choose Tiny, Giant, or Colossal. If you do, Elastigirl has the chosen symbol until she chooses again. Now, if she chooses Tiny, modify her combat values by -1. I guess there are situations in which you may wish to. If she chooses Colossal, modify her combat values by +1.
Yeah.
She can get a permanent +1 to all of her values, which are not inconsiderable, keeping in mind she starts with a 10, 10, 17, 3. That's speed, attack,
11 attacks, not bad.
defense, and damage.
Yeah.
11 attack with 4 damage. I'll tell you, if that's what I've paid 100 points for, then I'm pretty happy to see it.
That is actually very, very good.
And I can also get a 4 damage with 10 attack at 50 points with an 18 defense and super senses. And spoiler alert to anybody out there, but there isn't very much precision strike in this set. Super senses is very helpful.
Yeah.
For 50 points, she's wonderful. Have her carry your guys across the board and get some serious attacks in.
Absolutely.
So it's big guy against big girl.
They're both giants. They can both. Well, she starts as a giant as well, so they're both giants. So they're big. They're both big targets in this set. I honestly think though that the standalone stats in this guy are slightly better. He has a lot more points. And his dial's a lot deeper. So I'm not sure. What do you think?
I think in a sealed scenario, he might have a hard time. As you pointed out, he can be outwitted, he can be psychic blasted, and so forward. However, as far as something that you want to add to your collection, this set is filled with metal men, and this guy's all of them put together. And he can just sort of splinter off into different ones. It's a really fun mechanic. It would be really neat to play. So yeah, I'm excited for Elastigirl, but I have to agree. Alloy seems like the more dynamic, more interesting pull.
Well, and one last thing about that too, the splintering piece of it is in sealed, often you will be pulling metal men with alloy. And at the end of his dial, he has a stop click that actually breaks him down into those characters. So you will have an opportunity to play on, even if he's dead. Your opponent will get his points, but you'll still may be able to come back and actually destroy their team.
And let's not overlook the fact that one of the most powerful, aggressive pieces in the larger game right now is the fantastic green arrow from the Trinity War gravity feed. Well, the only problem with that green arrow, pretty soft. You don't need to worry about that soft. Pay 5 points for him, let him blow a gigantic hole in your opponent, and go back to the rest of your team as it is.
Through some walls even, how about that?
Exactly, fantastic ID card.
I think he just won the ID card around there.
I think so.
Yeah, between the two of them. Didn't see that one coming. We got ID card rounds now.
Ready?
All right, so we got 2-1. Let's.
Oh boy,
that was heavy.
I'm working out with this one.
All right, let's.
Ready?
Let's
3, 2, 1,
go. Ooh, another booster gold.
I don't know why I thought it was heavy.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh my God, it's a chase.
Oh,
it's the Batman chase.
13 attack.
Oh, that's insane.
Oh boy.
Oh, I've wanted to see this. It's just.
I'm really sorry about your pulls.
Look at that.
Wow.
That is. I'm going to come up to the.
This requires a moment. Let's take a moment.
Let's take a moment for Batman right here. Right there.
That's an amazing.
Piece. Kingdom Come Batman. Unbelievable.
You want to say a little bit about
also an incredible pull in sealed. You can tell I was speechless there for a second. I had to take a moment to collect myself.
Remember what I just said about how there's basically no precision strike in this set?
Yeah.
One of the very few exceptions to the rule is this beast right here.
Yeah.
But at least he's not he may have precision strike, but he's not likely to land any hits because his attack value only 13.
It's just insane. He's I mean, all of the chases, I'm going to pull out the card here. All of the chases are fairly similar in their traits because they cannot be their powers cannot be countered, except, and they cannot be modified except by characters that actually have the KC team ability. And, you know, that's all. There's almost nobody in Modern outside of this set that actually has that. The one exception being KC Flash from the Flash set, which is an amazing piece.
Incredible piece.
I feel privileged enough to actually own one. But there we go. We've got Isolated from the Violent World. Batman begins. Oh, that's 25.1, so I'll start with 150. Batman's combat values can only be modified by powers and abilities from the characters with KC. Batman's powers and abilities can only be countered by powers and abilities from characters with KC, as I just said. The cool thing about this is he starts with Running Shot, Precision Strike, Invulnerable, and Outwit with incredible values. Yeah, it's 9, 13, 18, and 4, I believe. Yeah. Now turn him to his 25-point dial. This is the cool thing, is that they also all of the KC chases come in at incredibly low values to do some really interesting things. One of the cool things about the 25-point values is they actually start 6 squares away from your starting zone. So they're sitting out there in the middle of nowhere. But what's cool about that is, in this case, on this 25-point dial, Batman isolated from this violent world. Batman begins the game placed at least 6 squares from any starting area and not adjacent to another character. While in click 11, he can't be moved or placed, so you can't move him around. When he is the only character on your force or an opposing character critical hits a friendly character, you may turn him to click 6. That's his last click on his regular dial. He can't be healed for the remainder of the game. But for 25 points, you get to use that. That's unbelievable. Plus, it has a special damage power on that click, which is I monitor Gotham from the Batcave. Batman can use Outwit with a range value of 10. Opposing characters 4 or more squares from him can't draw a line of fire to him. So can't draw a line of fire means that they can't pulse wave him. Which is unbelievably cool. Very similar to Lois Lane in the previous set.
To say nothing of the fact that he's still got the Batman ally team ability.
Yeah.
So even if they get within 4, they have to get around to stealth to shoot him. At that point, they're going to deal with his KC team ability. So if they choose to get next to him, they're dealing with an 18 defense with combat reflexes. So he is not an easy take at 25 points.
Well, and from range, he's got the new KC team ability, which is. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, that's there. I'm just taken aback by it.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Go ahead.
All right, I got a lot of cool things in here. I also got a Batman, somewhat not as impressive, but all the same. This is the common Batman who starts with charge and 12 attack. That's pretty amazing. For 60 points,
really cool, yeah.
For 60 points, your 12 attack is getting there. A Robot Man, also very neat. Another major force we've seen before, and this is the non-prime Poison Ivy. The real story of this one, though, is itself an SR.
Oh, wow.
Here we have the Apocalypse Supergirl.
That's awesome.
Let's take a moment to look how cool she is.
Apocalypse keyword.
Apocalypse keyword, lots of keywords actually. Amazon, Apocalypse, Assassin, Female Furies, and Kryptonian. 2 team abilities, Superman ally and Superman enemy. Real sort of a two-sided thing there. And she's just an incredible piece. She has 3 different point values, which gives you a lot of options with her. Considering Apocalypse is a great keyword, but there isn't a ton of it. There's more and more. It's great. We're getting more and more Apocalypse. But in the meantime, you want more options for building. So the fact that this is an SR that gives you 3 different starting lines, really valuable. All of them very good. Indomitable Flyer, who starts out running, shooting with Psychic Blast for 4 damage. Pretty incredible. Under all normal circumstances, there's no reason why I wouldn't be winning this round, but...
It's a chase. You kind of have to go with the chase on this one.
You just have to see this to believe how sweet
unbelievably cool.
It's a beautiful, shiny finish on the bat wings.
Yeah, they did a really, really good job. I happen to have a Spectre chase as well. They're just so beautiful.
So far, Mike
as well in here.
Mike is ahead 3-1, which is more or less how it tends to go.
No, it is not. We are dead even right now in the home games.
Well, when it comes to polls, my friend.
No, that's true.
But let's turn that around, shall we?
3, 2, 1, go.
Get in there. I'm just not that good at ripping. I'm a violent man.
Ooh, I got a super rare.
Hey, look at you.
What'd you get?
I got a bunch of cool stuff. This is a very generic heavy set. In fact, this is a low point heavy set, period. We've got a druid, we've got a witch, we've got an apprentice, and we've got Mercury. Between the 4 of them, none of them are exceeding 25 points. The entire point value of this set would be low if not for Allura.
Ooh,
Yes.
Yeah,
very
that's
neat
awesome.
little piece. One of the rare forms of places that you can get leadership in this set, and it is very necessary. With this being as focused on low points a set as it is, getting a piece with leadership is already great in and of itself. Getting a leadership piece that also can charge in, smack you with a heavy object, and has impervious to keep her protected, even better. And also, you've got, again, options. I love the fact that she's also got a 75-point starting line. And in both of her starting lines, she has a unique feature, which I kind of like. She's not indomitable, but she pushes onto a second click that changes up her combat strategy. So this is just sort of higher level thinking for her. If you know the charge isn't going to get the job done, no matter what point value you play her at, you're going to push her onto a hypersonic precision strike option. And at that point, you can sometimes turn the table on unexpected opponent. So, what
Excellent poll. She is actually very good.
Very good.
I got Platinum, the super rare for the Metal Men. She's interesting because she has, like, she's 50 points. She only has 4 clicks, and her stats aren't terrible, but with the exception of with her attack, which is only, or sorry, her damage is only 1. But she has 18 defend, so it's pretty obvious that she's meant to be played in the swarm with the other Metal Men, especially considering her trait, which is Metallic Property Precious. When Platinum is within 3 squares of another friendly character with the Metal Men keyword, she can use Sidestep, and when using Outwit, she can choose an additional power to counter on the target. So she has Outwit right on her opening dial, so she's using it basically twice on the same target. That's actually really good. Pretty cool for a super rare at 50 points.
Absolutely.
Not bad.
Well, 18 defend is great in and of itself, and it's not some sort of only Metal Men can be defended power. It's just an 18 defend. That's a great pull for Sealed as well. Pump up those defenses and get the Outwit on there. You know what though? This is going to be my choice to go against.
Oh, the Druid.
It's
Nice.
a common.
Oh,
and I know
man.
that this seems
So
like
good.
a joke, but let me just explain to you what's going on here. It's 18 points. Very little real estate is being taken up. He's stealthy, so he's going to be kept protected. He's got shape change, so he's keeping doubly protected, and you want to keep him protected because he's got a great power called Entangled Roots.
Yeah.
Druid can use Smoke Cloud. Opposing characters occupying squares placed by the Smoke Cloud must break away, and they can't break away automatically. So
I really like that.
for only 18 points, this guy can lock down an opposing team fantastically well. And shape change is just the best power that he could have. People have to get next to him anyway if he's using his stealth effectively. And when they do, they're going to regret having done that when you roll out your shape change. I played him not too long ago in a pre-release, and I've never seen so much frustration on the face of my opponent. My dice were hot, but when your dice are hot and your 18-point character is stymieing their whole team, you've spent that 18 points well.
I would agree 100%. I played him on my Joker Lex duo team in one of the pre-releases, and his Smoke Cloud with all the stealth that I had was so valuable. On top of the fact that I could stop people from moving is just unbelievable. There was one other thing of note in this particular pull set, and that is Mercury. Mercury is 25 points of TK. That's basically what he does. It's probably, I think that's the lowest point.
I got it too.
TK, yeah, you've got him. He's really easy to get. He's a rare. He is
Currently, he is the lowest point starting TK in the modern age.
In the modern age right now,
because he takes over. Time to move on.
3, 2, 1.
Let's do it. It's getting so much better.
Get mad at it, man. Get mad at it.
I'm not. Well, I'm very sorry about your another loss there. And I'm just going to pop out this rather large French monkey. Is Monsieur Mala. Let's face it, if you can get a giant French monkey, there's very little else that you need to pull. Yeah. The only thing that would really make it better is if I pulled a cat. Did I also pull a cat? No, but I did pull a brain because that's what Monsieur Mala comes with.
I pulled a cat that comes with a guy, a young man. Yeah.
Also in here for the record is that stealthy Batman, the common stealth Batman. Tin, we've got a generic Druid, very awesome, and Crazy Jane, as noted before, is really awesome. But I'm going to unpackage this brain, and you can tell us about whatever inferior thing you have over.
Inferior, it definitely is inferior. However, really cool. I did pull another ID card, so that's a win in itself. I got the Supergirl ID card.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if any of you watched the previous videos with ID cards in them. We had to actually blur out their codes because they were just apparent at the bottom. They were printed on the bottom of the card. They've now actually included a scratch away area on them so that you can't actually steal codes from people online, because that was actually happening a fair amount, because we're all just, you know, filthy criminals. So there's Supergirl there, which is also a very cool ID card.
Absolutely.
We'll work with Supergirl Prime as well from a previous set, a little Red Lantern action. Yeah, so I got Clarion the Witch Boy, which is probably the best actual piece in this kit, but I am going to pull out the Blue Beetle because I like Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
And he's really good.
Steady attack value of 10 for only 60 points.
And he partners up with Booster Gold down there. So in this particular case, we've got Blue Beetle. I'm going to click into this first click. Charge. Let's see here. Incapacitate, combat reflexes, and a special power. It's Blue Beetle can use Perplex. You may use it an additional time each turn if one of those uses targets himself or a friendly character named Booster Gold. So in Sealed, it's not going to penalize you for not having Booster Gold like it has in the past with certain characters that are supposed to be with other characters. It'll allow you to use it on himself, but it's cool if you get both of them in a Sealed because you'll end up being able to fight with Booster Gold and Blue Beetle together.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome, and they both get crushed by Doomsday. Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert from the 90s.
But not. Yeah, exactly. Let's avoid those 20-year-old spoilers.
Yeah, 20-year-old spoilers. Gotta hate those.
All right. This guy is a fantastic piece.
Oh, so good.
He comes with a brain. I mean, most characters, I suppose, do, but this one actually comes with a physical.
Like he literally has a brain.
And the great thing about it is that you don't ever have to have this brain out there. As long as he's on Ms. Yarmala, then Ms. Yarmala can use Super Senses and Psychic Blast.
Yeah.
So he's already got Running Shot with Energy Explosion and 2 targets. Add Psychic Blast to that, and that's spilling a lot of damage around to the swarms that you're going to be facing again in Seal. I keep mentioning that.
So good.
For 150 points, he's a great tent pole while still giving you lots of points to pull for him. But really, if you want to make it cool, give him a free action, pop that brain out, and you're rocking an 11 attack, 8 range, Psychic Blast with 2 damage, or Mind Control. Super Senses to keep him safe, and if he does get KO'd, you can just put him right back on Ms. Yarmala and take
a bit
damage.
Ridiculous. His attack is a little bit less effective. The brain's attack is a little bit less effective in this set because there's so much invincibility. But that being said, it's tremendous. Like,
and Mind Control, having the second option,
yeah.
It would be enough if it was just that he was a brain that popped out with an 11 attack Psychic Blast. But the fact that, as you say, you're up against somebody that's not going to be as effective about, then I'm just going to go make you fight that guy.
I'm sorry you didn't notice, but Blue Beetle died. Yeah. All right.
Ready?
Go.
Let's do this thing. We're going to try to get my range this time. Ready? 3. No? Okay.
Go.
I did say 3.
You did, but I just went.
All right.
All right. What do we got here?
Finally. Oh, man. This is great. We've seen a lot of Metal Men. Now it's time to see their leader, Doc Magnus.
Doc Magnus.
Doc Magnus is a great pull in Sealed. It's a great pull period because, again, he leads the Metal Men and can really help support them. This is a nice Batman and Superman pull because you've got the rare Batman along with the common Superman who's super fast. So you've got World's Finest right in the pack. The aforementioned Mento, Iron, and Doc Magnus. Very cool.
Well, I got the Creeper. So he actually would win the round, I believe.
Oh, we'll see about that.
But I'm going to pull out this side because we haven't seen him.
I'm also going to pull out this Atom.
Oh,
ID
Atom,
card.
Nice. Atom ID card.
Very neat. I love the Atom.
Versus the Flash wins.
Yeah, I guess I have to admit to that, but he's still really cool.
He is really cool. Yeah. I'm going to talk about Desaad a little bit because he's kind of cool. I know that on our show that he wasn't necessarily everybody's favorite piece, but I love anything and everything that has Apocalypse keyword because there hasn't been a lot for a while. So this just adds more options. So Desaad's trait is serve the strongest leader. At the beginning of the game, the highest point friendly character on the map, not named Desaad, becomes his master. When his master damages one or more opposing character and actions resolve, you may remove an action token from Desaad. I had him on my Joker duo team and I forgot about the removal of the action tokens. Ah, so bad. There's so many things happening during set releases. All kinds of powers get forgotten. He also has a special defense power. Desaad can use toughness, and when he is targeted by an attack and his master is within 7 squares, you may choose to replace his defense value with the printed defense value of his master. So it effectively acts like a defend, but from up to 7 away, which is pretty good. And generally speaking, they're going to be probably going to have a higher defense value than he has because he only starts with, let me just see here, he starts with a 16. Not hard to beat. The duo actually had 17, so it wasn't a whole lot better, but they get around all kinds of damage in other ways.
Yeah.
Plus he has phasing teleport right off the bat. He also has the special damage power, which is decide to use Outwit. When he does, after actions resolve, he can use Perplex, targeting the same opposing character. Fantastic. You can Outwit and then Perplex them down.
Is that going to be your pick? Or
I am going to go with that, even though I know this is slightly better.
But we've already got him out.
But we've already got him out there.
I am going to go with Doc Magnus, and I'll tell you why. If you've noticed, other than this big alloy here, the metal men have only really one defining negative feature if you want, and that is that in a game where you only get one action for every 100 points in the build, it is very hard to get your full usage out of the metal men when they are also cheap. A lot of really low point characters are very swarmy, but it can be hard. Even though they can all use sidestep when they're near each other, it can still be hard to get your full usage out of them, and Doc Magnus addresses that problem with the following statement. Other friendly characters with the Metal Men keyword don't have their move actions count against your action total, and they may use to carry ability, but only to carry Doc Magnus.
This is a mechanic we've seen in previous sets with other things, it's really, really good.
It basically gives everybody the JLA or Avengers or what have you. It's only 25 points, so for 25 points, getting that team ability on everybody who's out there, really, really useful. And of course, he also activates the sidestep power, and he's a supporter for all the Metal Men. And with his support, he increases healing by 1. Now, when it comes to Doc Magnus versus Desaad, I have to give here's my one and only thought about why I unfortunately feel I need to tip this guy over. His defense is mastermind, and he's 25 points.
Just in one-on-one, he would lose. Yes, absolutely. But I think he's actually more useful in the set. And in the sealed environment than Desaad, but marginally. Because Desaad is actually pretty good and interesting and does something cool and new-ish, sort of, kind of. So, you know what? I think that these guys can shake hands and not kill each other.
Wow, we're going to have a tie?
We're going to have a tie.
All right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Well, there we go. Let's see what we got with our last one.
2, 1.
You're still better. I don't want to tear the...
Oh, this is so bad. Look, crazy
that's
quilt.
Amazing. I love
Oh, man.
Oh, I got a kitty and I'm very
nice. You got a kitty.
Well, let's face it. I also got.
Well, we did pull pretty much all the really high rarity stuff earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but he's awesome.
I am, and I'll be talking about him in just a moment. Blue Beetle is also in here, who's great, as we've already addressed. Warlock and Witch and Black Cat. Isn't that a cool thing to get together? The Black Cat, the Witch, and the Warlock. This is a great setup if your other booster in sealed, let's say, had some kind of a tent pole. These guys are just great, especially in the mystical tent pole. Really you're in a lot of trouble at that point. What do you got over there?
Well, I did end up getting 2 of the Batmen that both have the shifting focus power. One of which actually has a really cool sculpt. You can see there he's against he's got a spotlight on him. He's against a brick wall.
That's the hiding Batman.
Yeah, it's the hiding Batman. It's stealthy Batman. And then we've got the 60-point Batman that we've discussed before. I also got Warlock. I got Allura, who actually I should be pulling out to fight you with because she is better in terms of pure fighting. I'm not going to do that.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go with Crazy Quilt.
You're going to go with some Crazy Quilt?
Yeah, definitely Crazy Quilt. Look at this guy. Come on. He's colorblind, actually. The actual character is colorblind.
It looks like a production mistake.
It does, totally.
What else is you got going on there?
Alright, so with Crazy Quilt, he has a really cool modifier, actually, because he's really cheap. He's only 40 points. He should be paired up, for instance, in the metagame, potentially with Rainbow Raider, because all colors are contained in me. At the beginning of the game, choose a color of a standard power, unique modifier. Opposing characters dials displaying a power of the chosen color modify their defense value by -1. You can't redo this. It's not the same as Rainbow Raider in the sense that you can choose again and again using a power action, but it does only affect their defense. But for 40 pounds,
what do you want for 40 points?
Yeah, really, it's really, really good. He also gets Mind Control, which we love, and the targets, let's see here. Mind Control, this is a special movement power. Crazy Quilt can use Mind Control. What he does, if the target's dial is displaying a power of the color chosen for his trait, he takes no damage from this use of Mind Control. And any hit targets modify their attack values by +2 for this action. Yeah. So it's a pretty souped up Mind Control. Absolutely. It's really good.
For 40 points, it is
unbelievably good. Yeah. I just think he's hideous.
that's a reason to play him in and of itself.
As a designer.
I am going to make an argument for Element Man, though.
Oh, yeah.
Element Man is fantastic. Once again, need I point out that the Outsider's team ability is fantastic? I needn't, but I will.
But you will.
He comes with a trait that gives him plasticity, very rare in this set. Shape change, which is great, and giant reach without being a giant. Fantastic. Also, what's great with giant reach? Quake. Now, he doesn't have it, but he can choose it.
He can choose.
The beauty of it, he can also use phasing teleport when he doesn't have any action tokens, which is fantastic for deployment along with sidestep. He can get wherever he needs to go. He can get an awful long way up there with phasing and then lock your team down with plasticity and shape change. But what really makes it is the ability to take a free action, choose a standard attack and or defense power. Element Man can use the chosen powers until the end of the turn, even if the power is lost. And if he chose both attack and defense, dealing him 1 unavoidable damage at the end of the turn. So when you really need it, you can get both defensively and offensively fantastic. He can become the incredible tie-up that's very hard to take down. If he chooses Invincible in addition to his shape change and his plasticity, yeah, he'll take a damage for doing it, but why would you ever not do it as much as you can if you're spending your 100 points locking people down and outsidering them out? But if he doesn't choose both, then he doesn't take the damage. He's one of the very few pick-a-power pieces in the set, and between that, a fantastic team ability, and an unbeatable trait, I don't think Crazy Quilt's got that.
No, I think Crazy Quilt just died, actually.
And there you have it.
There you have it. We've taken our pulls out, we've battled it out, and I think you won this one.
Well, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then I've got 2 of these here, and 2 wins, and you've got a loss and a win. So I think we tied. Dead on. Ah!
You could do worse than tying.
Yeah, tying is awesome.
I think we're all winners because, frankly, and I don't just say that to be cheesy. I know it sounds super cheesy, but let's be honest,
kids.
This is the most excited I've been about a DC set in memory.
It's really good.
It's really good. Not only are we getting great characters, but we're getting really great dials and representations of them. We're getting famous characters that we've seen lots of times before with creative new approaches, which is always something that's highly desirable. We're seeing alternate versions of famous characters we've got before, and we're seeing new characters and guys we haven't seen in ages. So really, I don't know what more you want. To me, this is the ideal DC set.
I just love the balance and seal. I think it's tremendous. It's really, really good. Yeah, and that was a fire truck. Oh well, things happen. This is a great organic experience.
Oh man, I'm telling you, this set's on fire.
The set is on fire. I'm just happy to be here and have been able to actually see some of the figures that I'm hoping to pull in my case.
Yeah, this is really
As we said before, these will all be available at 401 Games, either today or tomorrow. Most likely tomorrow, which is the 10th, once they've actually been priced. But come on down, buy yourself a case. If not, buy some individual figures. Great place to play as well on Tuesday nights at 6:30. All right, everybody, come on down to 401 Games once again, play on Tuesday nights. Also, if you want to see more from Tom and I, we do appear with our cohorts Jason and Jay on the Metal Lab on Monday nights.
And sometimes special guests. In fact, sometimes we do a pregame at 8:30. So you can watch me and Tom actually play each other in the wonderful game that we call Heroclix. And so Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. is the Metal Lab. That's at youtube.com/marriedwithclicks. It is live, so you are able to post questions and interact with us from afar. And while you're there, check out the rest of the channel. All kinds of great videos are being posted all the time. And thank you all for playing this wonderful game that we all enjoy so much.
We love Heroclix.